How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to New Mexico State Men's Basketball News. I'm Marshall, back with another video. Hoping to get a couple videos out for you guys this weekend. Been really busy with work, but I have some time this weekend to get you guys some videos. Today, as you see in the title and thumbnail, we're going to talk about Robert Carpenter. This video will be pretty similar to the Christian Cook video I did, where I just cover Robert's time at NMSU, maybe go a little bit into detail at the other Division I schools he played at, or just other colleges he played at in general. So let's get straight into it. So first, I want to talk about more of Robert's career with NMSU, and then I'll kind of go into where else, he was playing at, what led to him playing for Coach Hooten. In his 2 years with NMSU, he didn't start a whole lot of games. He started 16 out of 22 games played his first year, played in 32 games his past year, and only started 8 of them. His first year here, we kind of needed him to start because, brand new team, he had a lot of experience, so it made sense that he started most of the year. He did, unfortunately, get that suspension after he did punch that player from Liberty, but he made up for it, apologized to the guy. I'm pretty sure he got the dude's number. He started the beginning of his second year with NMSU and his last year collegiately. But Coach Hooten thought it'd be better for him to come to the bench, give us more of a scoring presence there. We had a lot of good scoring guards, starting and, good forwards and stuff with Peter, obviously Cook and Deontay and stuff. Robert said he never took it personally. He played very well off the bench. Actually probably played better. Had a lot of big games against UNM where he had 20 points, had 21 in the last game of the season against Kennesaw State, had 20 against Sam Houston State, shot the ball really well. He would have had his off nights. We talked about earlier about Liberty. He did have 3 donuts against Liberty in his career playing against them. First time at NMSU when he threw that punch, he only played 2 minutes, didn't have a chance to score. I think he took a shot but missed it. And then he shot like 0 for 12 combined, I think, in the 2 games against them this year. So every time, he just struggled against Liberty. And Liberty's defense is really good, one of the best in the conference. And they also drew the most fouls, which maybe the refs are on their side, but that's a different topic for a different day. Other than Liberty, though, he played very well against a bunch of other teams. As I stated earlier, many 20-point games. Both years he had big games. I had a big game against Jacksonville State. Shoots the ball really well. Shot about, 33% from 3, which might not sound like the greatest, but for a stretch 4, not bad at all. And shot, just under 50% from the field. Was able to get to the rim. He dominated the paint when he, needed to. He's a really strong presence, so even when his shot was off, he knew how to handle the paint. But it was just really good that he was very versatile and diverse. Peter was, arguably our best player last year, but he's more, just dominating the paint. Couldn't shoot the ball as well as Robert, so that's where Robert saved us. He averaged 10 points and 5 boards for the Aggies in 54 games. The 10 games he missed were due to that suspension, the last 10 games of the 2023-24 season. So he was always healthy, never hurt. If it wasn't for that punch, he probably would have played all, 64 games just like Christian Cook did. Robert's another guy that supported the channel really well and, just always would repost his stuff. Sometimes repost a bunch of Aggie stuff if they won from, content I made on YouTube or Instagram, Twitter. So he was a, big fan, big follower of the account. I saw him on campus a handful of times. We talked to him. Saw him at the six-man dinner right before the season started. Really cool dude to talk to. Another big game he had was 22 points against Western New Mexico in that exhibition game. Even though the game didn't count, he had like 6 threes and dominated. And being right up there up close, it was just crazy seeing. And crazy to see how big he is. He's like 6'7", 230, I think. Really strong. He's from Detroit, Michigan, I believe. He followed that 22-point game against Western New Mexico with an 18-point game against another Division II school in the state, New Mexico Highlands. Shot 7 for 12 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, very efficient. And he actually scored in double figures the first 9 games of the season, averaged 10.1 points per game for the year. The first game he didn't score in double figures was after that UNM game where he dominated. He only had 2 points against Texas, but Texas being the biggest school, probably one of the better schools we played all year long, makes sense he would struggle there. But he also had a lot of, really good games against a lot of big schools like we already talked about. And obviously you're not going to be perfect every night. We talked about Christian Cook, that one video where he struggled toward the end of the year because a lot of, defenses were game planning against him. That really opened the floor for Robert Carpenter because people, forget how good of a shooter he is. Cook's definitely the better shooter in my opinion, but I don't think Robert's far off. I'm not sure if Robert's going to try to go play overseas somewhere, but I think he can definitely do it. One of my favorite college basketball players ever, KJ Allen, who's a part of that Last Chance U documentary. He's been playing overseas in a couple different leagues, averaging over 20. And I feel like, him and Robert have somewhat similar playing styles. Robert can shoot the ball a little bit better. KJ can dominate the paint a little bit better. But overall, their games are kind of similar in those aspects. So I feel like Robert could, maybe play in a lower level professional league and dominate, or even one of the higher levels and, have a big role just like he did with the Aggies. He did play for Mississippi Valley State during the 2021-22 season, the year I was a senior in high school, but his team was really bad. I believe they finished like 3-28, last in their conference. He played well, averaged about 16 points, one of the top scorers, if not the top scorer. But again, not on a great team. So that's why at NMSU, his stats were a little lower, but he was playing with a bunch of dudes who could score the ball really well. Same with Deontay Boss. They played really well at Cal State Bakersfield. And they had a great team, but he was the most skilled, most dominant scorer on that team. Coming to a team filled with scores with like Zadie Jackson, Christian Cook, Robert being one of them. So, obviously your numbers are going to be as great, but still very effective on a very good team. His first year of collegiate basketball was for St. Bonaventure, in the 2019-20 season. He only averaged about a point or two a game, but they were a good team. I believe they finished 22-12. That's where Woj is working now. So if Robert would have stayed there, I would have been able to, be alongside him. But obviously, I'm glad Robert, went to other schools, dominated it, and then was able to come to MSU, do a lot of great things for us, and paved out a really good basketball career, I would say. Collegiately, obviously was good in high school, and who knows, maybe he tries to play professionally. Not 100% sure. Maybe I can get in contact with him and ask him, because again, him and I are, somewhat cool with each other. So maybe he'll let me know, or, maybe I'm sure I'll see something where, he posts about it or gets posted somewhere online. There's always stuff, and I'll make sure to let you guys know and post it on social media. I know Robert didn't have a whole lot of injuries with us, but I know he was injured at times, at the start of his career in college. So I feel like if he really wanted to, he could have put another year in for eligibility. But that means he'd have been playing 7 years of college basketball. And I don't think Robert's the type of guy to do that. I mean, I know he played 6 years, but, I feel like he's not going to want to play much more. Like I said multiple times, your 4 years you play, redshirt, COVID year, 6 years. I think that's the max. I feel like you shouldn't play more than that. You see guys playing 7, 8, 9, even 10 or 11 years sometimes with injuries and stuff. They keep getting that extra year of eligibility. It's nonsense. You got guys who are pushing 30 playing college basketball. Again, come on, man, go get a job. Obviously, I'm sure most people watching this video know Robert's game, saw him play a lot. Stretch 4, can shoot the ball really well from 3. When he gets hot, he gets hot, like big shot Rob. When he's off, he's really off. When he's on, he's really on. He had a couple games where he's like 0 for 8, like I said, talking about that Liberty game or games. But then he has his moments where he's just not missing at all. Both years, he had many big shots. Was a big part of why we, made that run against Western Kentucky. He had that comeback win against them. We were down by 23, came back and won that game. That's probably the best win we had all year under Coach Hooney, his first year here. I actually just watched an interview with Coach Hooney yesterday. Pretty cool. Been seeing Adam Young doing a lot of interviews with Kyrie Smolin and just a bunch of other guys on the team. And I'm really looking forward to see how this team does. I've also seen Adam Young do interviews with Logan Fife and some other football players. So really excited for football coming up soon in 2 months. Hopefully they have a better year, and hopefully basketball can have a better year as well. They weren't bad last year by any means, 17-15, but did lose in the first round of the Conference USA tournament to Kennesaw State, 80-77. As you guys know, Christian Cook missed that half-court 3, but it was almost in. Best shot of the night for him because he was off, only had 5 points, didn't shoot the greatest, and again had a lot of those games down the stretch. But again, defenses were game planning against him really well. I was talking to my friend about this, not too long ago, like last night and the night before. We're talking about how we hope that the Aggies can, put together a 21 season because they were super close to doing it last year, had the potential to. I think this upcoming year, with the defense and offense we have, I think it's definitely possible. I know there's other teams in Conference USA getting better. St. Houston State, if they're healthy, can be really good. UTEP, they're always going to be competitive. Liberty's obviously always going to be up there. They have Zach Cleveland coming back. Dominant post. Not great at free throw shooting. Maybe the Aggies will pick him up in the future because he's not good at free throw shooting. It's obviously a joke. You just know how the Aggies are with their free throws. That's also something I hope that improves a lot because last year was really bad. Probably one of the worst I've seen in a while. So really hoping that improves as well for the upcoming year and compete for a Conference USA title. Even if we don't make the NCAA tournament, I feel like getting to that championship game would be awesome. And just, giving ourselves a chance to, make the NCAA tournament and make some noise just like, the Aggies did in 2021-22 with Teddy Allen, Jabari Rice, all those guys. That's going to close it out for the video today. I believe my next one I make might be tomorrow or the next day, talking about Gabe Pickens and Jacoby Osborne coming back and what they'll bring to the table as returners and how important they're going to be to the team's success for not just next year, but for years to come. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video about Robert, and I'm out.